Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel, where we get to build another hobo stove today. I love to build these things. I try to build one or two a year, and I want to address the first problem that people ask me about. Where do you come up with 1-gallon cans at? So I want to take you over to my local Walmart and show you the green bean cans and the selection of 1-gallon cans that you have at the Walmart. Right over here by the ketchup. Choose green bean, corn, black beans, chili, pork and beans, chili beans. All kinds of choices for 1-gallon cans. So we're going to reuse this feed cover. And we'll reuse the elevated floor. All right. First thing we want to do is let's go through the tools. Center punch, 5/16 driver, nut driver, 3/4 inch step bit, and we're going to use this 3/16 for my lead hole because the first step on that step bit is worn out. And I got a 9/16 socket with an extension. I might need some vice grips and I'll need some tin snips. Cordless drill. We'll use this to make a little template, a little gauge to get our 1.5-inch spacing between the holes. So, and here's 4 bolts that I got from Ace Hardware. I've started using the 3/8 inch bolt. I like them better than the 1/4, so this is 3/8 by 1.5 inches. And the nuts and the bolts cost $2.50 from Ace Hardware. So let's just eyeball where they go. We'll start with that seam right there. Come down here to where it looks like it's in the center. Same thing over here. And our 3/16 drill bit. And then we'll increase those holes to 3/8. And my 3/8 is right here. Uh-oh, went too deep on that one. Now people are always telling me, why don't you make it a three-legged stove so that it won't wobble at all? The stove is way too top heavy to be 3-legged. It'd tip right over, especially when you're cooking with a pot on top of it. It's a lot more stable with 4 legs. I think they're mistaking the top of my sheet metal fire table, which, you know, the sheet metal on it is up and down and bowed and dimpled. You're not going to be able to get the stove to sit straight on it. And so it appears that my legs are, you know, the stove's not sitting true when indeed it is. And even if you did make it sit true, once this stove heats up super hot a time or two, all of that stuff bends and contorts, and so it is not critical for your stove to sit without any kind of wobbling. It is not critical. Alright, let's since I don't have a 9/16 wrench, we'll just do this. Right. I chose this spot here because the lighting is so much better, and you always see me building stuff off of the fire table, but I mean, you could build something like this off of a stump. All right. We've got a row of 3/4 inch holes. Centered right here on that top groove. And then this row of 3/4 inch holes is centered on the third groove up. And then these supports for the suspended floor, elevated floor, is the next groove up. So let's go ahead and make some magic marker marks here. This top groove, 3 grooves up and 4 grooves up.
And this has a whole lot less grooves than that other stove. So let's go ahead and put our bottom grooves. Let's go ahead and put our bottom holes on this bottom groove. And then the support for the elevated floor right on that top ridge right there. That'll work. I got skeeters and bugs and all kinds of stuff flying all around me. Good. So
Let's go ahead and use this tape here and figure out how much tape we need. And we'll go ahead and put some marks on the tape that we can transfer onto the can. Every 1.5 inches. And then transfer the marks. And then we'll peel it back off and use it for the bottom holes also. So there's going to be, this is going to be 1.5 inches. This is going to be 3/4 inch holes every 1.5 inches. So let's go ahead and pre-drill all of those with our lead bit. Now we'll switch over to our step bit. I'll put my earplugs in. Right. And there's all kinds of sharp edges on those holes. There's razor blades everywhere sticking out, so I'll get my half-round file and go ahead and clean those off of there when we get a little bit farther along. All right. Now, I like my feed hole to be in the center of these. in the center of the legs. So right in the center of here and here, we'll come down here, right to there. And let's make this one a little bit shorter. Let's go to right here. And so, in order for me to get my and I don't want it that wide either. So let's make it right there. So let's go ahead and put 4 holes in it so that my tin snips can get in there. And we'll cut out the feed hole. Alright, coming right along. Now, I'm going to take these 4 sheet metal screws out of this one, and we'll put them in here for the elevated floor to sit on.
Alright, let's go ahead and put 4 holes.
Yeah, this is the right size, 3/16. Alright. Elevated floor screws to go right in this ridge here. So I'm going to use these to judge by.
So, we'll put one right here. And one right here. And one right there. It doesn't take much, as you can imagine, to support that elevated floor.
Let's burn it off. Alright y'all, I'm glad you joined me on this build. This is probably my 7th or 8th Hobo Stove build, so I guess you could tell I really enjoy building them. Do go ahead and check out my playlist. There's other styles of stoves that you might want to build, stoves that don't cost anything to build, all the way up to, like, I think the paint can stove, which is an exhaustive tutorial. I think the materials on that was like $40, so you can spend whatever you want to, how much, how little. It's an enjoyable project, and you see how great they work. They're fast starters, hot burners, so I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.